A rare alien species called the souls has taken over all of Earth, causing humans to have a sparkling silver ring in their eyes. To survive on this planet, they are using human bodies as a host to control their minds completely. While most humans have been taken over by the souls, there are some free humans who fight for their survival by forming resistance groups. The scene now shifts to a group of hosts raiding a hotel to capture a young girl named Melanie. She jumps out of the window and ends herself to avoid being caught. A woman named the Seeker and her team take Melanie's body back to their lab, where a man named Healer Ford begins to treat her. He heals her scratches and wounds by using a spray and makes an incision on her neck. He now begins to retrieve the soul from a metallic vessel. The soul looks like a small, glowing white parasite, and it travels inside Melanie's body through the incision on her neck. When the soul takes over, Melanie's eyes also turn sparkling silver just like the rest of them. Ford introduces himself and asks the soul for a name. The soul calls itself Wanderer, claiming that it has existed for too long and has explored many worlds. The following night, Wanderer wakes up feeling dazed and uneasy in her new human body. Standing in front of the mirror, she hears Melanie's voice inside her head and gets frightened at this strange phenomenon. Later, the Seeker calls Wanderer to her office and reveals that some humans don't lose their consciousness completely after being taken over by the soul, which is exactly what is happening to Wanderer. While she's struggling with Melanie's intrusive thoughts in her head, the Seeker asks her to go back into Melanie's memories and find other members of the human resistance who have not been taken over yet. Wanderer visits the old memories and shares the name of Melanie's younger brother. Walking outside, Wanderer sees a normal society with ordinary people walking around, but it is certain that they are all just hosts for the souls. Wanderer starts having a discussion with Melanie inside her head while walking. Later at night, Wanderer experiences a dream yet again. She sees an early memory of Melanie being attacked by a man named Jared. When Jared realizes that Melanie is also a human just like him, he kisses her. Wanderer wakes up and touches her lips, implying that she is contemplating human feelings and emotions. Wanderer tries to resist these feelings and ends up drawing Jared's sketch, which she shows to the Seeker the next day. She once again visits old memories. This time, she sees that Melanie and her younger brother had started living with Jared in an abandoned trailer that was completely unknown to the souls. Wanderer sees Melanie's romantic moments with Jared and gets emotional. She softens up and decides to not reveal Jared's location to the Seeker. Wanderer now visits the final memory, in which Melanie, her brother, and Jared had stopped to spend the night at an abandoned hotel before running away. While Jared went out to get some supplies for the trip, the Seeker and her team of hosts invaded the hotel. Melanie took one for the team and ran towards the host to distract them from finding her brother. However, she ended up jumping out of the window and meeting her untimely demise. Wanderer is saddened at this memory, and she now starts feeling the need to protect the resisting humans. She lies to the Seeker and claims that she can't see any more memories. When she is alone, Wanderer sees some mountains and sketches them out on a piece of paper, but Melanie's voice in her head convinces her to tear the paper and throw it away. Wanderer puts the paper in her pockets without anyone seeing it. Weeks later, the Seeker spots Wanderer near a lakeside and interrogates her for more information. Melanie's voice forces Wanderer to walk away if she cannot lie to the Seeker. When the Seeker reveals that her people have found Jared and will soon take him in, Melanie's consciousness takes over and she attacks the Seeker, but she defends herself and knocks Wanderer out by spraying something in her face. Later, she regains consciousness in the Seeker's facility, where she learns that she's being extracted from Melanie's body so that the Seeker herself can take over and look inside Melanie's memories. When she locks Wanderer up in a guarded room, Melanie forces Wanderer to jump off the balcony and land in the pool. A guard shows up with a spray, but Wanderer quickly snatches it and uses it on the guard instead, causing him to lose consciousness. She then runs away and borrows a car to hit the road. While she is driving away, the Seeker breaks into the room and starts looking for some clues. She finds a sketch in Wanderer's pants. In the middle of a deserted road, Wanderer realizes that Melanie has been lying to her and leading her down a different path. The two have an argument and end up crashing the car. Melanie wants to pay a visit to her brother, so she makes Wanderer walk in the desert for hours to get to her uncle's secret cabin. Meanwhile, the Seeker and her team use their tech to locate the mountains that Wanderer had drawn on the paper. While Wanderer runs out of water in the scorching heat, the Seeker speeds away in her car and locates the place where she had crashed her car earlier. Meanwhile, Wanderer finds a shady tree and collapses underneath it. She is found by Melanie's uncle named Jeb and his group of human resistance members. Jeb pours water over Wanderer's mouth, which she drinks, and she regains consciousness. When she opens her glowing eyes, Jeb and his men realize that she is a host, so they decide to end her life right away. Melanie screams from inside and convinces them that she still has control over her consciousness, even though she has become a host for the soul. They blindfold Wanderer and take her back to their hiding spot in a massive cave system, where many other humans are also living in hiding. She sees Jared and runs to hug him, but Jared sees that she's a host and ends up smacking her across the face. Her brother also shows up, and she ends up fainting. Jared carries the unconscious Wanderer to his cell and sits at a distance to keep an eye on her. Meanwhile, the Seeker and her team locate the mountains and decide to pull off a search. Inside the cave, a brawl breaks out when some men from the resistance group try to end Wanderer's life. Jared fights to protect her, but he can't do much since he is outnumbered. One of the men starts to strangle Wanderer when Jeb arrives. He fires a shot in the air with his shotgun and breaks up the fight. When they leave her alone, Melanie's younger brother Jamie makes contact with Wanderer, but Jared and Jeb yell at him to stay away from her. Jeb sends Jared away and shows Wanderer around their cave. He gives her the nickname Wanda and shows her the hot waterfall. While Jared and the other men go out in their trucks to find food, Wanderer takes a bath. Afterwards, Jeb takes her over to the giant field of wheat they've managed to grow with the help of thousands of mirrors reflecting sunlight. While Wanderer is now feeling inspired by humans and their fight for survival, Jeb hears the helicopter circling their area. They run and spin the wheels to close the mirror dome to avoid being caught. The Seeker and her team keep searching the area in their helicopters but find nothing. Later, Jamie takes Wanda to show her the glowing bugs. He has an emotional conversation with her, knowing that his elder sister's consciousness is still alive inside Wanda. Outside, the guys steal food from the grocery store and load it into their trucks. One of the Seeker's men shows up, but Jared knocks him out and loads him in the truck. In the cave, Jeb asks Jamie and Wanda to help the other people with harvesting the crop. The hosts commence another search over the mountains in their helicopters, forcing Jeb and the others to close the mirror dome once again. Outside, one of their loading trucks is compromised by the hosts. Meanwhile, Wanda eats food and bonds with everyone over her stories of wandering different planets. Outside, the hosts come after Jared's truck also, but he manages to dodge the attack. Jared walks out his truck to grab the host in a car crash, but the Seeker shows up and shoots him instead of Jared. Due to this, the hosts decide not to chase humans anymore. When the remaining guys get back to the cave, Jared blames Wanda for his friends' deaths. Hence, Ian takes her to his room to secure her. Jared dreams about Melanie making out with Ian, so he rushes to his room to talk to her. He purposefully claims that he's going to kiss Wanda, which angers Melanie. She makes Wanda slap Jared. This convinces Jared that Melanie is still in there and makes him feel at ease. Now feeling confused, Wanda runs away and hides in the pond. Kyle finds her alone and tries to take her life, but she ends up saving him from falling into the boiling waterfall during his attempt. She doesn't share this story in order to protect Kyle in front of the doctor and Jeb. Jared takes Kyle back outside. When left behind, Ian takes Wanda outside and confesses that he loves her, but Melanie's consciousness manipulates Wanda into backing off because she is in love with Jared and doesn't want to kiss Ian. The two go back inside, where Wanda crosses paths with Jamie, who lies about seeing the doctor. Curious to find out what is actually happening, she barges into the place and finds out that Jared and his guys have been bringing the host bodies to the doctor, and he has found a way of taking out the souls by unaliving them. She rages out and runs away in dread. She refuses to talk to everyone, but Jeb comes along and breaks the news that Jamie is hurt and his wound has become severely infected. Hearing this, Wanda tries to talk to Melanie, but her voice stops responding in her head. She kisses Jared in order to make Melanie jealous and force her to speak. When Melanie finally starts talking again, she plans to go to the hospital outside and get the kind of medicine needed to cure Jamie's infection. Jared comes along with her for safety. Outside the hospital, Wanda cuts herself and assures Jared that the medicine invented by the souls will heal her in minutes. She walks into the hospital and asks the doctor to heal her wounds. After the doctor is done, she sends her away to fetch a glass of water. Behind her back, she steals the needed medicine along with the soul pod. The two come back and use the medicine to heal Jamie instantly. Everybody reacts to this like they've seen a miracle. Following this event, Wanda makes another trip with Ian and Jared to get some groceries. When she returns with the boys, they find that their lookout guy has been unalived. The Seeker shows up with a gun and starts threatening Wanda, but Jeb shoots her from behind. Upon Wanda's request, she's taken inside and healed by the quick-acting medicine. She then asks the doctor to make an incision on the Seeker's neck. As everyone watches, Wanda demonstrates that they can extract the soul without unaliving the human. Wanda shows how the soul crawls out on its own if it doesn't sense threat or hate. As the soul comes out on its own, Wanda requests Ian's help to put it in the metal pod. The Seeker wakes up as her human self and thanks Wanda for saving her life. Wanda then goes out with the boys to a place where she sends the pod back into space so it can land on some other distant planet and live again. She returns and says her final goodbyes since she doesn't want to live out of Melanie's body forever. She personally visits Ian for the last time and kisses him after asking Melanie to shut up for a minute in her head. No one wants Wanda to leave, but she doesn't listen to them and goes through with the procedure. When she opens her eyes, she realizes the doctor has not obeyed her request. He has put her in another girl's body instead. She finds it awful, but everyone assures her that her soul has helped a dying girl live again. Wanda eventually makes peace with everyone and starts living with them. One night, she's out with the boys when their car gets surrounded by a bunch of strangers. A host walks to them with a gun and pulls them outside of the car. When he checks their eyes, he realizes that everyone is human except Wanda, so he asks if she has been captured by the humans. Wanda comes clean and tells him that she has become their friend. The host reveals that he is also with his group of humans who have befriended him. The leader of that group comes forward and claims that there are many other resistance groups surviving out in the world. Here, the film ends. To watch more awesome and thought-provoking movie recaps, please subscribe to Film Guy Recaps. Don't forget to like this video and tell us in the comments which movie you want to see next. Goodbye for now.